Hey, it's Thomas DeLauer, and in a previous video, you've seen me talk about ketosis and ketone bodies in general. But in this video, I want to dive a little bit deeper into the potential use of exogenous ketones. Exogenous ketones being a supplemental form of ketones that can help you get into ketosis a little bit faster. But before I dive into which ketone salts or exogenous ketones you should use, I want to talk a little bit more about a surface level understanding of ketosis. So ketosis is obviously when your body is running on ketones. Generally speaking, you're looking at like a 4-to-1 ratio of fats to protein. Now that can skew depending on what your overall goals are. If you're trying to maintain more muscle, it might be more like a 3-to-1 ratio. But overall, you're looking at a predominantly high level of fats and a moderately low level of protein. You see, what happens is when the body is conditioned to run on glucose, generally speaking, you consume carbohydrates, your body's going to convert that into energy. But when you start depriving your body of glucose, or maybe when you're fasting, or if you're pregnant, or if you're having prolonged activity, your body is going to start breaking down lipids and fatty acids into ketone bodies. And before I get into the exogenous ketones, I'm going to explain a little bit more about how that works. So when you deprive your body of glucose, it usually takes 3 or 4 days for your body to start adapting to utilizing ketones. You see, you have to drain through your glucose stores, drain through your carbohydrate and glycogen stores, and then your body is going to start utilizing the fats for fuel. But don't mistake that with keto adaptation. You see, what keto adaptation is when you're actually in ketosis, a state of nutritional ketosis, for 3 or 4 weeks, and your body becomes much more efficient at utilizing fats for fuel. That's ultimately the goal with ketosis. We're trying to reap the medical benefits, we're trying to reap the body composition benefits of nutritional ketosis, and that usually takes 3 to 4 weeks to happen. In fact, one study that I found extremely interesting looked at cardiac tissue, looked at the heart, and what was found is when the body was running on ketones, there was a significant decrease in oxygen consumption by the heart, but with a subsequent increase in ATP production. What that means in human terms is that the heart required less oxygen to ultimately produce 28% more energy. What does this essentially mean? It means that the body is much more efficient at running on ketones or fats for fuel than carbohydrates. The trick is we just have to get it there. So getting there is relatively difficult. And as ketosis has gained a lot more popularity over the last couple of years, we're finding more and more ways to sort of biohack ourselves into ketosis so we can reap those benefits of ketosis with ultimately not having to do all the hard work. So that's where exogenous ketones come in. And really the supplement industry introduced them back in about 2014. So there's not a whole lot of research behind them, but the understanding of how they work in general is pretty surface level and easy for us to understand. What exogenous ketones are oral forms of ketone bodies that you consume. So ordinarily, while you're having to wait 3 or 4 days for your body to transition into ketosis, exogenous ketones, an oral form of ketones, can help you get there faster, essentially providing you with the ketones immediately so you can get the positive benefit. So how exactly does that work in the body? Let's get a little bit sciencey here. So you see me in a lot of videos, I'm always talking about the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the energy powerhouse for just about every function in our body. That mitochondria is critical for creating energy. And that mitochondria is pretty unique. It can run on glucose or it can run on ketone bodies. Now, like I said earlier in the video, when you're running on glucose, everything's fine and dandy. But when you start transitioning into ketosis, a few things change. See, it looks something like this. When you're deprived of glucose and you have the fats flowing through the body, the liver has to do a little bit of work. It has to break down those fats into what are called ketone bodies. Now, the 3 ketone bodies that we're going to focus on, the most prevalent ketone bodies, are beta-hydroxybutyrate, also known as BHB, acetone, and acetoacetic acid. Ultimately, BHB is the one we're going to focus on because that's the one that you're going to find in exogenous ketone supplements. Now, the mitochondria can use any 3 of those ketone bodies to create energy, and that's what we're after here. Beta-hydroxybutyrate, or BHB, is the most common ketone body. Almost every function of the body is going to ultimately come down to that BHB. So when we look at exogenous ketones, we're looking at BHB. Now, that BHB can either be used directly or sometimes is broken down by beta-hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase, which is an enzyme that helps break down BHB into a usable form of acetoacetic acid for the body to use. Either way, BHB kind of is the fundamental root of those ketone bodies in general. So then when you look at ketone supplements, and this is a question that I get a lot, you're going to see either ketone salts or ketone esters. Now, ketone salts are the primary source that we're looking at when it comes to supplements. You see, ketone salts are going to bind, that beta-hydroxybutyrate is going to bind with either sodium, potassium, or calcium. It's going to bind with one of those minerals. When it binds with those minerals, that's how it creates the energy, and that's how you end up with a ketone salt. So if you look at exogenous ketone supplements, you're generally going to see that they're extraordinarily high in sodium. That's why we're looking at ketone salts, BHB bound with sodium. The other one that we look at is a ketone ester. And a ketone ester is not readily available in supplement form. It's really only in the research phase. But I think that we're going to see in the next year or two that ketone esters are going to come into the supplement game. Now, what a ketone ester is it's a ketone that actually binds with an alcohol to convert to that acetoacetic acid rather than converting to acetoacetic acid by way of a mineral. Now, what we have found in a lot of research, and one particular study that's been done on rats, found that when they actually looked across the board at ketone salts versus ketone esters, it was pretty interesting. So what they looked at 4 different things. They looked at MCT oil, they looked at ketone salts along with MCT oil, they looked at ketone salts just by themselves, and then they looked at ketone esters. What they found is that across the board, the level of blood ketones were the same. Overall, the overall body composition was the same as well, with the exception of those that took the ketone esters. The rats that took the ketone esters had a dramatic shift in body composition. Now, this may be because of the potency of the beta-hydroxybutyrate in the ketone esters, but more than likely, it's due to the appetite suppressant effect of the ketones in general. So what this essentially means is that ketones are a powerful appetite suppressant, which really is ultimately what yields the major fat loss benefits of ketosis in the first place. The level of satiation, that satiety, is really, really strong when you're in ketosis. So at the end of the day, what do you need to do? What do you need to take? Should you be taking exogenous ketone supplements? Well, it's all going to come down to a matter of preference. If you're looking for that extra boost, if you're looking for a little bit of additional energy while you're trying to transition into a state of nutritional ketosis, it might be a good benefit for you. But a question that I get asked a lot is, should I use an exogenous ketone supplement that also has MCT oil with it? The short answer is no. It doesn't really make a big difference. When you're taking an exogenous ketone, it doesn't make a difference whether or not it has MCT oil bound with it. You see, MCT oil provides you with those medium chain triglycerides to help your body nutritionally create ketones, but it doesn't enhance the effect of the beta-hydroxybutyrate. So in short, you want to focus on eating the right kind of ketogenic diet, getting yourself into a state of nutritional ketosis, and then supplementing with the exogenous ketones when necessary. And the jury is still out on whether or not exogenous ketones can help you when you're actually consuming glucose as well. What I mean by that is, if you're not eating a nutritionally ketogenic diet, you're still consuming carbohydrates, can you get the positive benefits and the medical benefits and even the body composition benefits of ketosis just by supplementing exogenous ketones? I'll do more on that in a follow-up video. As always, thanks for locking in on my videos. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions on videos, please be sure to put them in the comment section below. See you in the next one.